Let's be real, parenting is not easy, but you are not alone. Welcome to the Parent Prescription, a podcast where I will give you real practical advice to help you navigate the ups and downs of raising healthy, happy children without losing your mind. Okay, this episode is a good one. It's called Hot Kids Cold Shoulder. We will be discussing the summertime blues that sometimes kids go through and why that happens. And I'm bringing my friends with me. And so, sometimes I have those two counselors with me, the professional counselors, Miss Avis Pfeiffer and Miss Aja Walker are going to join me today so that we can talk more in depth about kids and their mentality or their moods when their setting changes in the summer and how we can help it and why they change sometimes during the summertime. So sit back and relax and hang out with us while we talk about hot kids, cold shoulder. Okay, like I told you before, I brought my friends back. You're going to see them every so often because they just have the information that we need.
Yes.
Okay, and so we're going to see them. We are going to talk today about hot kids, cold shoulder. So if I say that comment, what does that mean to you? You guys are the therapists, the counselors. You guys know. What does that mean to you? Hot kids, cold shoulder. She looked at you first.
I'm gonna say new behaviors, new attitudes, new family situations because of this heat, because of the summer, because of the space, because of the new and change environment. Maybe that's what comes to my mind.
Okay. Hot kids, cold shoulder. Any addition to that?
Yeah, I think around the same. Summer. School's out. There's more opportunities. Well, more opportunities to be at home, basically, or to go out and do things. And I think that kind of opens up, the conversation about, communication, things like that. What are we going to do this summer? Or, just responsibility of things over the summer. And so, yeah, hot kids, summertime, cold shoulders. What does that look like as far as, families, just togetherness?
Okay. Let's see. When I think about summertime, I usually just think about, fun and vacations and swimming and playing and outside. But when we think about it, mainly, I always think about our preteens and our teenagers and being more closed off in their rooms if we don't have scheduled things to do. And then you can look into that. Well, since we don't have sports and activities, and now I just am bored or it looks different.
What's next, Mom?
What's next? What else are we gonna do? What else are we gonna
I'm
do?
hungry. Knowing you're not hungry. Knowing you just ate. Eating all the snacks at home. But in reverse, there's also that, safe space that some people need at school that now they're not getting because school is out. So those 3 meals a day. Those, like, it's like now some parents might be struggling to keep up, to provide meals all day for the children, for their family, because they were looking forward to them eating breakfast and lunch at school, which some communities do still have this summer program for kids to come eat for free, but some don't.
Shout out to We Are Washington because they still have the food program and they still serve. I know lunch. I'm not 100% sure about breakfast, but I know lunch for the younger children in the community. And so shout out to We Are Washington.
And also Little Bitty City has a program feeding over the summer as well. I don't know the hours, but look out, just look it up.
Awesome. So there are places that are able to help support that, resources that you can get. And so you just went right in there. We went straight deep.
Sorry.
We went straight deep. Yes, that can definitely affect the mood of children if they're hungry, if they don't have anything to eat.
Right.
Yeah. So we always think about that. That's one of the reasons why some people have the year-round school where they just have short breaks because kids don't have as long to be out. Longer breaks. So emotionally just put off or shut out is what I put it. Kind of shut out. Do we see more of that in the summer? Is that a thing?
I think it depends. And it depends on what the family structure was like before school ended, or what the expectations are over the summer. So we know we have parents who work full time who don't get summer breaks, right? And so with that being said, yeah. Hi, Summer. Not. Right. And so with that being said, you have two things. You have more access to, I don't know, technology, free time. This is if a teenager or such does not have older siblings, but that also opens the door for if this teenager is now at home and they have younger siblings and now they're caretaking. And so when it comes to that emotional piece, if they're isolating or not, it really depends on like the home situation, and everyone's home situation is different. And so we just don't know.
Right. That's a big piece to put in there. The older the teenagers are having to watch their little siblings all summer if the parents are working full time.
Yeah.
And that may be, even though we think, oh, it's your little sister, it's your little brother, just watch it. That may not be the most fun thing to do.
Yeah, because we work with you.
No, you're a teenager, right?
Because the oldest one might not be the most responsible one. That's so you're counting on the older child to protect and to guide and to feed, but it's maybe the 8-year-old that's the one we need to lean on, which is age wise you have to look at the legal aspects of it, but your child, the maturity level, the responsibility level of each child. And I would just say to each family, like she said, everybody's different. Each family looks different. But if the role is given to a child that is not physically or emotionally or mentally ready to sit and take care of a household while you're gone 8 hours, 9 hours a day, then that's a huge dynamic to maybe have to like sit in front of and talk about and discuss. I know daycare is terrible, right? That's a whole nother bill. But you got to think about the safety of your children. Are they being fed? Are they eating? Are they, comfortable and safe in the home and not wandering the neighborhood?
Right.
And then especially in the heat of the day, kids, if they do go outside and play, great. But sometimes that bill doesn't go off to say, hey, drink some water.
Hey, whole podcast on that.
Nice. Okay.
Yes, we just did a podcast on hydration and overeating.
Okay.
But also like the ones that have no siblings, being not stuck. I don't want to say stuck at home, but being at home and not having any interaction for that 7 or 8 hour period. Also, you mentioned the social media aspect and the access that I know we talk about it all the time, but the access that other people have to them being at home alone. Like, are they at the maturity age, not just the age, are they mature enough to be at home and be able to do what they should be doing while they're at home?
And that can be kind of scary, especially because of the internet. I mean, I'm just gonna put it out there. Yes, social media is huge with how our young people are learning how to communicate. Some can't hold a conversation face to face, but give them a phone and they're just fine. Or talking, FaceTime or doing it that way. But internet can be a scary place if you're not, I guess, comfortable with, hey, I'm sitting here, I'm on the internet, I'm doing what I need to do, not, oh, let me go and search this site.
Or people chatting.
Right. So not specifically going to one point, but just be mindful of that. But I think that also brings us to, we talk about the social piece as far as when a child or a teen is at school, they have that social interaction every single day. There are some that may not have access or aren't able to get on social media because they're just not allowed. And so there may be a gap over the summer because they no longer have that social accessibility. Yeah. And so if they don't have access to it, they may feel like they're missing out. And that may be something that contributes to, negative moods, just changes things that you may be seeing. And so we'll get into this talking about being able as a parent to explore like what is going on with our children, like being able to be emotionally attuned to them, understanding what they're feeling, being able to talk to them about it. And if we're uncomfortable as parents talking to them about it, figuring out what it is that we need to do to be able to hold that space for them. And so this is a conversation that's not just here, but we're able to bring this conversation into our households and to be more responsive and emotionally available for our children, even over the summer. Because while we're at work, if we're working at 8-9 hours a day, we don't see what's going on. Yes, we can text and do check-ins and things like that, but does that really paint the full picture of what's going on, with your child? Do you know if they miss their friends? Do you know if they want to stop in and check in? A lot of parents don't allow their children to go over other people's homes. And so now we're looking at a 2-month period where not only am I at home, possibly babysitting younger siblings or not, but I also don't have access to the people that I spend more time with, essentially, than I spend with my own family.
Right.
And so there's also that as well.
Right. Because the weekends may not be enough.
Or that
may not be
parents
enough.
may work over the weekends too, because people full-time jobs and part-time jobs and PRNs as well. We got to make it.
Right. That's true.
I just don't feel like doing anything on the weekend. No, they can't. Your friends can't come over because I want some peace and quiet in my household on one day. After the week.
I get a Saturday. All I get is Saturday.
Yeah. So. But you're absolutely right. It's with the social media. With being social, it's like you're taking away their connection to their outlet to others, and especially those that are very active in school. That not just with sports, but the clubs and the the communicating effectively within the school, that circle. Yes, some don't have to have this social scene all the time, but you have some that are really like counting on the likes. They want to check in, they want to get the oh well, this is going on in my world type of thing, where back then for us it was like three-way calling. Now it's like the group chat, like you need to be a part of it, so if you don't have that during the summertime, if you don't have access to internet, maybe you just don't have internet, maybe you don't have a phone, your family's not able to everybody to have a phone in the household, but it can damper that child's spirit. It can make them moody. It could make them want to be in their room closed off because they feel like they are shut off from the world, from what they are used to.
Okay. Next question. Why do some children who appear happy, social, successful struggle emotionally behind closed doors? Like, why do we even have where we think that kids are fine and doing well, and then when they get home or when they're in their rooms, they're actually struggling?
I think there's a part of everyone that has the ability to turn it on and off, right? And so you may have a child who, not even just a child, but adults will do it as well because we're big kids, right? That is able to be emotionally, visibly happy and can hold it together in a public space. And I'm not sure what factors are in place or contributes to that in a public space. But then when you're home, it's different. Home and school are completely different. Home and work are completely different. You're dealing with different expectations, different needs, different things. And so just being able to recognize that, that there are differences. And so we talk about being emotionally attuned and doing those things, but it's also about us being able to explore ourselves as well, and being able to identify those things. I don't know if I answered the question, but
okay. It's almost like they're able to take the mask off. When they get home, they're more comfortable and they can take the mask off.
Yeah, so it's not like a front or facade.
Right. It could be vice versa. The mask, maybe when they get home, they have to put a mask on. I always think about home as a comfort, but that's not the case for everybody.
Right. Correct.
Right. Okay. I think we talked about this. How much does social media contribute to anxiety, stress, emotional ups and downs? We all know, well, we should all know this. We've talked about this before. Social media, you're looking at what people want you to see.
Right.
And if you have comparisons and things like, my friends just came back from a luxurious vacation and I'm sitting here working.
Right. It's fine. It's not me. You're here with great people, though.
Right. But if you think about that on an adult level, now think about it on a teenager's level or a preteen's level, where their friends are doing this, and they're comparing. or
Mhm.
the comparison can really get you in a bind,
Mhm.
right? And so I can easily see how that can create some anxiety or stress.
Yeah.
We just got to put ourselves in their shoes. So
Yeah, and I think we've touched on this already, but there's also that having the access to social media and devices that could bring stress, but it's also not having that
the
because you
opposite.
have because you also have everyone who's in the group chat, who's on
Right.
Snapchat, who's on Instagram, they're liking and sharing and have this whole community, but you may have someone who does not have that access to it and they feel like they're missing out all summer. And now when they get back to school in August, man, I have to catch up. Are these friends still my friends or did they grow a bigger
Right.
bond over the summer? Like, do I
Right.
still fit in?
Right.
Right.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Warning signs. What are some warning signs that parents may miss that they need to be at least keyed in or tuned into?
So I know with the summertime sleep patterns that changes big time, right? Because we let them stay up. They're in there in the room doing what they would do. Because we're busy. We're at 10 o'clock we ready to go to bed, but they've been probably asleep half the day. So yeah,
They're just getting
you
ready for the
know
night.
yeah they ready to turn up when you
Roblox.
get home. So you want to give them some leeway a little bit on the sleep thing. But if they're just sleeping all the time, if you notice that the lack of energy is just like never, it's something that you're gonna notice. It's not just, oh, they're just in the room chilling. No, it's where this is a problem. He's not coming to dinner. He's not coming to the table. We're not having conversations. Even maybe like the communication is with their friends. Even that
That's what I
kind
was
of
thinking.
thing is what you want to look for. Um, it is hard to say, oh well, yeah, they sleep too much. It's summertime. So that might not be a problem, but it's like, why are they sleeping so much? What's going on? Are they just up all night and they sleep during the day? Then that's okay. But if it's something else there on top of the sleeping too much, that's what we want to pay attention to.
Yeah. And I think on top of that too, it's not just the being in your room sleeping a lot, but it's also, do they still seek connections? And so if they're not seeking those connections and that's something that they're used to, that is something. But also moods. If your child is sleeping all day, right? And every time you see them, it's just like they hate to see you coming.
Yeah.
Right? If that's something that's not typical, like you want to look out for patterns like mood changes, even eating habits, things like that. Pay attention to those things. How they speak to you. Like some children, we've talked about it, are just, they generally just don't know how to effectively communicate in a manner that adults feel like is respectful.
Right.
And so if you feel like that's increasing, like lashing out, saying inappropriate things like that, those are things to pay attention to. And it's not necessarily because, child is being disrespectful. They may have something else that's going on. And it may be some of these things that we're talking about.
Right.
Feeling left out, feeling like they have too many responsibilities, feeling like they're missing their friends. And so being able to explore these things is extremely important. So
Because we can fix that, right?
Yeah.
We can have a Saturday without
Right.
taking it for us. We can
Yeah. Yeah.
we can say, okay, which friends do you want to get with this weekend?
Yeah.
We can try to make some play dates for our younger kids or allow our older kids to do more in the evening since they are watching the younger ones during the day.
Right.
We can try to at least compromise with them to help keep some kind of social interaction so they don't get in a mood.
Yeah. And I think on top of that as well, it doesn't necessarily have to be them bringing people over. Like, what is the energy in the home? Like,
Right.
I know parents are quick to say, yes, I'm your parent, I'm not your friend. But that does not take away from the fact that you can still have a good relationship with this person. This person can enjoy being around you. So what is the home environment like? What is the communication like at home? Do you guys have things that you enjoy doing together? I don't know if you have little special quirks, special handshakes, special things that you do that makes it feel more comfortable, that makes me feel like I am connected to someone, even if it's not necessarily the same connections that I had at school. Correct.
So when the communication is not right or it's not if it's broken or you feel like I really do need to get some kind of connection with my child, what are some things that we can do to connect more with our children if we just feel like they're just in their rooms? I don't know.
Family dinner.
Okay.
That's easy. Just invite them to the table. I mean, let's just sit here. Everybody gonna eat. Hopefully, one day, one time, one minute of the day.
So let me jump in there on the family dinner thing, because I've had this issue at my own house, and I just want to express it because I'm sure people have it at their house. Family dinner is not everybody eating and on their device.
True.
Like that is not.
Like, don't even bring your device to the table.
Yes.
Don't bring it to the table.
So we've had to make a new rule at my house. But anyway, we won't go into my
Okay.
So that becomes it can easily become a habit where you're not connecting even at dinner. And that's one time where we eat together, we talk, we see how things are going. And so if it has become, you look around and you go, nobody's talking to me. Oh, well, it's because you all are on your phones and tablets. Put them away. Okay. Anyway, that's just, yes.
Also, like, family game night.
That's what I was
That's
thinking.
an easy one.
I like that.
That's easy. Just bring it out and put the phones away and let's just sit here, Put the timer on if they just so against it. Be like, look, just give me 15 minutes,
Yeah.
It's okay.
I think also at the foundation of things, just ask. Or just notice. Like, I notice you've been in your room a lot more. I notice you've been sleeping. I notice you've been on your phone more. You look like you're sad. Can you tell me what's going on? Right? I remember times where you used to be happier. So even I believe those things as an adult modeling, I notice that something is off about you. It opens up that conversation as well. And so once we get them to game night or once we get them to the family table, like, it's easier to have these conversations. A lot of children don't know that they have permission to talk to their parents about feelings and emotions. And it may very well be because their parents never talk to them about their feelings and their emotions. And or dismiss them. So for example, we have little bitty ones and one of them whines a lot. So one thing that is not effective is saying, hey, you shouldn't be whining right now, right? That's nothing to cry over. Right. Those are not helpful for showing that you're emotionally available, but rather saying, I notice that you look like you're frustrated. What is frustrating you, right? And for the most part, if they're young enough, they'll say, I'm not frustrated, I'm mad. They'll correct you. But it's even learning these basic emotional terminology words that they can use. A lot of kids don't know them. I have adults with the range of emotions that are happy, sad, mad, angry.
That's it. Yep.
I'm just like, well, no. What about irritable? What about irritable? What about frustrated? What about anxious? Hunger is a feeling.
Oh yeah,
right. It's
I
feel hungry. Right, and so it's just being able to open up the communication about these terms and these words and things like that. So,
and I want to spin it on the adults as well, just real quick, because sometimes I don't want to come in and have a conversation to a grouch. Like, you can't expect, you don't have this busy day, yes, but then you come home and you have the attitude, you have the stank face, you know, vaping all day, and so it's like, are you open? Are you providing a space where somebody can come and talk to you, and we have this one-on-one bond? But be mindful of that. Don't nobody want to just be there and not feel like, are you paying attention to me? Because adults will do that too. Be on their phones and somebody trying to talk to you, and we're just stuck in Instagram world.
Right. And it's sometimes too, after a 9-hour day of dealing with customers, coworkers, patients, clients, I need 20-30 minutes to myself, right? And so that is something that can also be communicated.
Just say it,
right?
Yes.
When I get in the house, kids, I need 20 minutes, and then I'm all yours.
That's it.
Just communicate it. And so there's nothing wrong with you having that space and time for yourself. Just communicate it. Right? This can all work out.
It probably won't be much longer than 20 minutes.
I'll give you 5.
Yeah,
Okay. Another thing I wanted to put in there too is I feel like a lot of times we want to bring kids into our world, what we like to do. Well, why don't you come and watch something with me? Or why don't you, come for the ladies that have daughters? Let's go and get our nails done. You can come with, like, we're bringing them into our world instead of us stepping into their world.
And what
they like to do.
Yeah.
Like my kids like the floor is lava, or and I'm just like, okay, great. But step into a child's space and do what they like to do instead of us trying to bring them into an adult world and want them to be satisfied with what we want to do. And so then, yes, go outside. Yes, it's hot. Yes, or muggy, whatever. But if you have kids that enjoy being outside, then why can't we give them 20 minutes of throwing the ball around or shooting the ball? And it might look funny to be like, I hadn't shot the ball in a while, but if you're trying to find a connection or build a connection, then why can't we do those things that they like to do?
Yeah.
Right? Get on
And
the
that
floor.
is so true.
Build you some Legos. Get on the floor.
Yeah, my
Like,
daughter loved going to the library.
Go do Danny go.
Love
Do
it.
all the dances.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Do it all.
Don't
Yeah.
stop digging.
Do it.
I've been digging for days.
Do it. Do the dances.
That's funny.
I mean, but even if it's silly to us, if they enjoy it, that's
Do
how you
it.
build a connection.
Mhm.
That's how you build it. That's where
right.
the connection comes from.
No,
Okay?
and it's funny because I have a 4-year-old, and y'all, I make remixes to everything. I make songs, and now recently she'll just come up to me in front of me and start dancing. And I know that when she's dancing,
That's so cute.
Mama, make up a song. Like, we're gonna do this, and that's something that we do, y'all. It takes 30 seconds to make up a song. She does her little dance, and she goes and plays for about an hour. So it's just a little check-in. Hey, we're gonna do it.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
The things that
Mm-hmm.
girls do. Mine check in different ways. Okay, here we go. We're almost through. Here, how can parents, we already talked about this, creating a safe environment where children feel comfortable coming to them. We just talked about that. Doing things, bringing them in, coming into their world,
Right.
asking questions. We've already talked about that one. What are healthy ways that parents can respond when their child seems distant, angry, or unavailable emotionally? Healthy ways that we can respond.
I think the same goes. First and foremost, check yourself, right? Check our emotions, check our feelings, check anything that you feel like would be uncomfortable being said, or that you feel like would further provoke the child's emotions, right? So check ourselves first, regulate ourselves first, and then ask. It's all about communication. I really feel like it just comes down to communication and knowing how to communicate. If you don't know how to communicate, ask someone.
What one piece of advice do you want parents to take from Hot Kids Cold Shoulder? What is the piece of advice that you want them to take?
The number one thing is don't use ChatGPT for medical or therapeutic advice.
Please
but on
Please don't.
but on a serious note, it is be emotionally available. If you do not know what it means to be emotionally available, ask a human. Okay, what it means to be emotionally available. Oh, I'm gonna write this out for the rest of our friendship. Don't worry.
We see that. We see it.
If you don't know what that means, try to figure it out and what that means to you. Ask yourself, are you able to be emotionally available? If you're not able to do that, yes, seek counseling, seek therapy, seek something that will help you do that, and then figure out what your child needs in order for you to do that. Right? So I would say that's what I would say.
One takeaway: if you can be in a space and provide a space for you, for your child, for your spouse, where that they can come in, and if they want to talk, that's totally fine. If they don't want to talk, if they just want to be, if they want to cuddle, if they want to just be with you, if you guys want to do a project together, whatever it is, I just say allow that every day. Don't make it where that it's weird. Like, oh, we're doing this today because y'all ain't did it in 2 months. So don't start making it a pattern to like really check yourself, check your household, make it healthier and happier in this space, so that this is where we know we can go to, that I'm comfortable with coming to my mother. I'm coming to my father, because I know they're going to listen. I know that this is where I can trust to go to and to be helped if I need it.
And I think my takeaway is just summers look different for every household, for every family. And so you have to make it work for you, and you have to pay attention to your children and what they need during the summertime, because it's different for them. If they're used to sports and cheer and being in clubs and they're used to socializing a lot, and now it all shut down for the summer, and they have to just watch their sibling, you may notice a cold shoulder. You may notice that once you're home, they're like, oh, get me away from these younger kids. I'm just going to my room, and the mood is different. And they make it, watch your environment, know your kids, know their attitudes, realize that they're, just because your job didn't change, theirs did for 2 months.
Right.
And so try to be in tune with that, so that we're not the problem.
And buy some healthy snacks at the house.
Buy some healthy snacks. And
buy some healthy juice. Stuff. Yes.
Get
and watch,
water.
and even watch that when you think it's healthy, look at it. Because sometimes it's not. Okay, but not just the chips and the Kool-Aid and the.
They can change the mood too. Huh?
Honey
It sure
bun.
can. The caffeine, y'all, watch that. Watch the caffeine intake. So I mean, I know some kids are drinking coffee nowadays at 9, 10 years old. You got to be careful with that.
Energy drinks. Oh, that's another podcast.
Yes.
That's for another
Another
podcast.
podcast for another day.
Yes.
Thank you, Miss Avis and Miss Aja, for coming again.
Yes.
And you will see them again. But
Not talking about ChatGPT.
Not talking about ChatGPT though. But we appreciate you for watching the episode this week. Share it, like it, give it to someone that needs it, and we'll be back next week. Have a good week.
She ain't gonna bring me back.
She ain't never-